Hello everybody, it's your host, Ninja-Trix, and I'm super excited to bring you the second episode of Top 10 Best. And in today's episode, we are going to cover the DS. The Nintendo DS was a highly influential handheld in the gaming market, bringing wireless multiplayer and dual screens, which made it capable of some pretty technically advanced games. In today's video, we will cover my top 10 of the platform's best titles. The rules are slightly changed from last week's episode, where the only rule is that the game must have originally been released on the DS. With that out of the way, let's get going. 10. Nintendogs. There isn't much of a difference between the different versions of Nintendogs, so I will treat the games as one. This game is just a marvel at how well it works. The microphone is utilized to allow you to talk to your dog. It's really crazy to think that all the dogs were hand animated because they look so real and lifelike. This is a great way to play with dogs if you don't have access to one. 9. Metroid Prime Hunters. If you saw last week's episode, this may surprise you that I put a Metroid FPS so low on the list. But I have my reasons. This game was made with multiplayer in mind, and therefore had very little development on the single-player campaign. The game also has very loose controls that make it hard to aim, and without a lock-on feature, boss fights are nearly impossible without stylus mode. Nonetheless, the game is great for an afternoon of insanity, and friends. And since it supports download play, you only need one cartridge. 8. Kingdom Hearts Recoded. Kingdom Hearts on the DS has great gameplay and controls, along with a very nice aesthetic, especially for the DS, but the story is very simple, so didn't score higher on the list. 7. Shin Megami Tensei Devil Survivor 2. SMT is a great series of Japanese games that have a large variety of mythological creatures from several places. But that's only the tip of the iceberg. This is one of my favorites in the series, but if you want to play it, I would recommend you get the 3DS remake that has tons more voice acting and story. 6. WarioWare DIY. If you want to make a fully fledged DS game, then this may disappoint you, but any fan of the WarioWare games knows that it's intended for short minigames, and that's what you make. You can make games, comics, and records, each which can be sold in-game to make its way up the charts. A really cool feature is that you can share your finished games with other people that have the same game and let them download your game for their use. 5. Moon. If you have absolutely no idea what Moon is, don't worry, you aren't alone. Moon is a sci-fi FPS where you fight aliens on the moon. The game is focused on the single-player story and has fair controls. If you want to play it, I would recommend you try out the 3D HD remake, although it is an eShop exclusive. 4. Star Fox Command. Star Fox Command is a hybrid-style game that fused strategy elements with flight battles and visual novel segments in between. The game has a great variety of gameplay and several endings which add a ton of replay value, and the multiplayer can make it fun for an afternoon with friends. 3. LEGO Battles. LEGO Battles is a LEGO-themed RTS with several different single-player campaigns and a solid multiplayer. Unfortunately, you have to have a cartridge of the game to play multiplayer, but don't let that make your decision. With 6 full campaigns and tons of collectibles, even if you play alone, there's a ton to do. When you consider that I beat this game twice and still play it, it's not hard to understand why it's so high on the list. 2. The World Ends With You. This is a great game that I would recommend to anyone that wants a great DS experience. The game has one of, if not the best, game soundtracks of all time, with a large variety of upbeat songs in both English and Japanese. If you want to play it, there is a phone remake, but if you can, I would recommend you play the DS version instead. Aside from the content removed in the phone version, it's still a solid game and should be in anyone's collection. 1. Of all the games on the list, this is the true definitive release for the DS platform. Kingdom Hearts Days. The game has everything that a normal Kingdom Hearts game has, and that's a good thing. The cutscenes are of the highest quality, and the soundtrack sounds like it came straight from the console versions. If you want a complete game in every form, this is the one. There are tons of multiplayer co-op missions and characters to unlock, along with a well-made story to go with it. It's really hard to say which one is better. The single player and the multiplayer are so good that either could stand alone and make it worth it. Even though it's in the HD collection, the collection removes all the gameplay, making the DS the only way to truly enjoy the masterpiece that is Kingdom Hearts Days. I would like to thank you for sticking around till the end, and I hope you enjoyed watching this as much as I did making it. It is really fun to make stuff like this, and I hope you can appreciate the work that goes into these kinds of productions. Please share this with your friends who may enjoy it, and keep on gaming!